Alright people, here we go, Rarevid's back again. Now this time covering something that I'm quite surprised I hadn't thought of it earlier. So what I'm delving into now is predominantly the Italian cannibal films. So we'll kick it off with one of my absolute favourites. Many would disagree and they would sort of, opt for Cannibal Holocaust, but for me, I don't know, it's just a fun film. Like Ferox has always done it for me. So this is the limited edition Zavvi soundtrack, and I don't know, man, just everything about the film, the cast, the soundtrack, the absolutely crazy dialogue, the over-the-top gore and violence in this film, it just does it for me. I've always had a thing for Ferox, so this is why I have so many releases, soundtracks and such of the film itself. So this is the, it's quite rare now, the old Grindhouse Laserdisc, which, if I can just fold it open, yeah, it's fantastic. It's got Lanzi's full filmography in here. As you can see, some lovely pictures of Morgan missing his wiener, the boob hanging and such, and we'll turn it over. So yeah, it is getting quite scarce now, but for some time this Laserdisc was the best way to watch it, and they actually give you like a vomit bag in there as well, which, apparently back in the day that was the done thing, and a little 45 record as well, but I think from memory that was like thrash metal and such on that one. I should probably give it another listen, but yeah, it's been a long time. I haven't actually played that since it came out back in 98 or something like that. Now I have this really extremely limited Blackest Heart Media double soundtrack, and it's my favourite soundtrack CD ever compiled, and it has all the Ferox tracks and Zombie Flesh Eaters as well, and there is actually about 32 tracks on there, and it's just really well done. You get that little booklet in there as well. If I can just pop this out, picture of Morgan there again with his wiener missing, and yeah, it's one of my prized possessions. They apparently only made 1,000 of these, but I don't really believe that number. But it's as I say, it's my favourite soundtrack. Now the way to go these days, guys, is the absolutely amazing Grindhouse release on Blu-ray, and it's just packed. I haven't even had time to get through not even half of the extras on this, and you get a fantastic little soundtrack CD, and the Blu-rays in there, of course. But yeah, just an amazing release. Now this is the old Australian DVD, and I guess it was acceptable, but it is pretty grainy and such, as you would expect from a sort of somewhat grey area DVD. So as I say, my favourite of this whole genre would have to be Ferox. It's just my personal preference. Now, the most notorious one of the lot, Cannibal Holocaust. And again, back in about the late 90s, this was the best way to watch it on Laserdisc. And many know the story. This film got me in a lot of trouble when I tried to import this. Australian Customs actually nabbed the first copy back in 1998, and I had to talk my way out of a court case. I was in a lot of trouble. As I say, I did manage to talk my way out of it, but it was pretty frightening. The wife wasn't happy with me, and I was facing, the prospect of a massive fine. But yeah, I got out of it. So I did end up getting it resent to someone else and then back to me. Just amazing. I mean, you guys obviously know the film. I think everyone knows the film. And I have the soundtrack here, which I'm due to pop in again. It's been some time. And yeah, look, I really do need to upgrade to Blu-ray, because the best thing I have is the double DVD set, again, which is a Grindhouse release. And it's quite a nice package. Yeah, and oddly, this film was banned here in Australia for well over 30 years, and it's quite ludicrous to think that, you know, you can go to the shop now and just buy this, where these fuckers were going to take me to court over this, and it was, as I say, it was a frightening time. Alright, now a massive favourite of mine, probably my second favourite of the genre, is the amazing Zombie Holocaust. And, you know, not only does it feature amazing cannibal gore scenes with eyes poked out, stomachs ripped out, all, you know, you name it. You know, you also get zombies thrown into the mix as well. Great soundtrack, great cast, which is why I've got numerous releases, such as the old Dutch VHS, the Stone Vision UK DVD, the amazing soundtrack, which I got off a friend, which I absolutely love. And yeah, I can thoroughly recommend the Severin Blu-ray. It is absolutely packed with extras. The 42nd Street documentary is just not to be missed. It's absolutely astounding. So yeah, look, if you haven't seen Zombie Holocaust, I suspect most of you people watching this have. I cannot recommend it enough. It is absolutely fucking astounding. Alright, now Regero also made Last Cannibal World, also known as Jungle Holocaust, and this, again, is not to be missed. It is, I guess, slightly low-key than Cannibal Holocaust, but it's absolutely amazing. So that is the old Shriek Show DVD set, which is actually really quite nice. You get those cards and such in there. I think there's about 8 of those cards. The print is actually very, very nice, and it's uncut. Here is the old Dutch VHS, which was uncut as well, and the absolutely amazing design on the Greek VHS. And as I've said before, you would never get an Australian VHS portrayed like that. Bit of trivia for you guys: the Australian VHS was released here as Last Cannibal World on Video Classics, and it was perhaps the most cut VHS in Australia's history. It's missing 8 minutes. I mean, a lot of that is the animal violence, but yeah, there's a full 8 minutes missing. Another one I can massively recommend, Eaten Alive. It's got a great cast: Ivan Razumov, Janet Agron, and some of it you just have to see it to believe it. I mean, I still don't know why, other than shock value, they paint Janet Agron gold. And then Razumov gets a wooden dildo and puts snake blood on there and proceeds to rape her with the dildo. You know, it's really amazing stuff. Fantastic. Again, it's got a great music score, which is almost like an alternate music score of Ferox. But yeah, it's really, really good, really wacky. Much less violence and such in this one is Lindsay's Man from Deep River. And again, the Australian VHS was cut here of pretty much all of the animal violence, and a few other gore scenes and such were cut out too. But it's more, I don't know how you explain it, more of a jungle drama than anything. But don't get me wrong, I still dig it. It's just not a gore film as such like the others, you know. Alright, now Sergio Martino did a really good one with Stacy Keach and Ursula Andress, and I really dig this. It does have its violent moments and that, but again, it's not full throttle like Cannibal Holocaust and Ferox, but I really dig it. The music score on this is absolutely fantastic, and many know this story. For a long, long time, there was, you know, renowned to be scenes cut out of it, including a native raping a pig, and I always thought for years that was just some story circulating, but, you know, when this old DVD came out, that footage was actually put in, and it does feel out of place, but it is quite amusing seeing the native actually, you know, sit there and have sex with a pig and such like that. But, you know, it's strictly thrown in the film for shock value. But I mean, I do recommend it. Mount of the Cannibal God is a good one. As I say, it's got a great cast and a great music score, and it's just a fun film. Alright, now, one of my favourite Antonio Margheriti films is The Mighty Cannibal Apocalypse, and again, I do need to upgrade to the Blu-ray, which I don't have, and similar to what I was saying with the other films, the music score is absolutely fucking amazing, and I do need to get the LP soundtrack of this. So this is the Australian DVD, which is just ported from the Region 1 DVD, and you know, this is what I do, guys. I get numerous releases of films, as you've seen, if I like it that much, you know. So this is the old Greek VHS. I just love the artwork on these as well. This is the Dutch VHS. And again, a bit of trivia for you guys. This is the Australian VHS, and all the gore was there except one scene, and for the life of me, I still don't understand why they cut it out. But when they get the garage attendant guy and they cut his leg off with the saw, now that scene was all cut out of the Australian one. But yet they, you know, everything else is intact. John Morgan getting his intestines blown out with the 12 gauge and the eye pokings, like everything else is in there, bar the bone sawing scene, which I've always been a bit perplexed about. I don't really know why they did that, guys. Now, one that, you know, quite a few fans do dig this. I really couldn't get into it. Now, this is an Indonesian film called Primitives. I know it's not Italian, so it's a bit out of place here, but I don't know, I just sort of threw it in the mix because I do like the design on this one, and it's got Barry Primer in it, but it's just extremely low-key. There's not really, from memory, any blood or gore in this, but as I say, guys, it does have its fans. Now, another one not to be missed, the mighty Regeros Cut and Run. Absolutely amazing. And as most people know, or probably everyone watching this, there was two versions shot, the hard Italian integral version and the English language version, which was almost like a completely different film because all the violence was cut out. Now, unfortunately, some of the gore scenes in this are spliced in from much lesser quality. Like the trap scene where the guy's wishbone in half and such, like, yeah, unfortunately the quality really degrades, but there's not really much you can do. This is the best way to view it, the cut and run Blu-ray. But again, a fantastic soundtrack, Simonetti soundtrack on this one. And I would massively recommend it. For me, this is well on par with Holocaust on Ferox. And yeah, it's a must-own, guys. It's absolutely amazing. Now, D'Amato did this one, Emmanuel and the Last Cannibals. I do remember it was, again, pretty low-key, this one. Pretty ho-hum. It's still sealed in plastic, but I haven't seen the film for about 30 years. And this was on sale with Severin at one point, so I ended up grabbing that. But it's another one I can't really comment too much on because it's been that long since I've seen it. But, you know, it's part of the genre, so I had to have it. Another one I really dig is Massacre in Dinosaur Valley. Now, this is absolutely fantastic. I really dig this one. It's not full of violence, but, you know, it does have its gore elements and that thrown in there. Now, unfortunately, the Australian tape here is cut, but I absolutely adore the design on this. It is, you know, honestly quite a rare tape, and this one's in absolutely fantastic condition. As you can see, it's a Premiere big box. And it also, it almost looks like some sort of pornographic jungle film, but it's not at all. If you've seen the film, you know what I mean. But yeah, it is cut of pretty much all the violence, unfortunately. But again, I do need to upgrade to the Blu-ray. It is one I recommend. Now, one I hadn't thought of for a long time until I started to look up, you know, cannibal films today, was Sue Hark's We Are Going to Eat You. Bit of a weird meld of kung fu, comedy, and cannibal elements all thrown into the mix, and it is amusing. And again, I haven't watched it for a long time. This is the very old Hong Kong release with the slipcover. It's quite a nice release, to be honest, and the print is quite good. And as I say, I do need to delve back onto that one again, but it is worth a look. Now, one that, I don't know, I guess you could call it a cannibal film in some respects is Anthropagas with George Eastman, because as you can see there, he actually eats his own intestines in it, so I guess you can sort of throw it in the mix here. I've never been like a massive fan of this, but I know people absolutely adore this film, but I do need to give it another go. I've only watched it once, and that was, you know, quite a few years back when this Blu-ray actually came out. And I got this as well. I absolutely love this. This is the Anthropagas plush doll, and it was actually one of my friends in America that designed this doll. And I absolutely love it. I can't do it for you guys now because I've only sort of, you know, got one hand here, the other hand's holding the camera, but you can actually push the intestines in the dolly and pull them out, and I don't know what you guys think of this thing, but I've always found it massively amusing. So yeah, that was bought from Severin as well. So Anthropagas actually had a sequel of such called Absurd, and it's actually better. I actually, like a lot of people, prefer Absurd, except for the little curly mop-headed boy in there that you just want to absolutely throttle. Somewhat like, you know, Bob in House by the Cemetery is just one of those annoying children in an Italian horror film that just does your fucking head in. So, before we close it off, guys, this is my amazing Australian debut of Woman from Deep River, which of course was our titling here of Cannibal Ferox. And I just haven't had the time or the space on the wall to put this up, but I need to get this framed because I don't want this thing to get fucked up. So that is it, guys. Personally, that is all I have in my Cannibal collection. But I hope you had fun, and as I said, I can absolutely massively recommend the Grindhouse Blu-ray of Ferox. It's absolutely packed to the top with extras and such, so do get onto it, people, if you don't have it. Alright, I'm going to finish this up now, guys. I'll catch you on the next one, eh?